Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and I'm back again with another short little lesson, and this is a very short little lesson on the subject of learning notes on the neck. So a student recently sent me an email because in one of our lessons I made reference to some of the names of the notes on the neck, only on the low E and A strings, and he was really taking quite a lot of time to find those notes. Now a bit of history on the student. The student has been playing the guitar for 25 years. And he's a reasonable player, but he's not found himself in a position where he seems to have, fluently learnt the names of the notes on the low E and A strings. Now that seems bizarre to me. I know these inside out just from playing a lot of punk songs when I was younger. That was all I really had to worry about, just finding those notes on the low E and A strings and then playing power chords off of those particular root notes. So he came to me just recently and asked the question, what's the best trick for learning the notes on the guitar? And this is a difficult one because while there are obviously tricks that you can use to memorize things like the names of the notes on the neck, every single one of them will do you a disservice. I can think of plenty of videos right now that I could send you to on YouTube that will show you the one simple trick you need for learning the notes on the neck. But I feel this kind of misses the bigger point. You can use a trick, but you'll always fall back on a trick when trying to memorize something. Let's be brutally honest, and I know that's not like me. If you don't know the names of the notes on the neck, the reason you've not learnt them is because of laziness. We're talking about 7 notes here. 7 notes across 2 strings. So, you could say 14 pieces of information. Maybe it's a lot, maybe it's not. But when you think about it, when learning via experience, how can you not already know these things? If I asked you to play an open G chord on the guitar, you already know how to do that, and therefore you know that the 3rd fret of the low E string is a G. You should instinctively know that the 1st fret of the low E string is an F from playing an F bar chord. You should know the 3rd fret of the A string is a C. You know that from playing a C bar chord. Go a little bit further than that. If you play a lot of metal, a lot of Iron Maiden type metal, you'll very quickly learn that the 7th fret on the A string is the same as your low open string, therefore it's an E. These are the tricks that we use to memorize things via experience. Think about learning the alphabet. There are 26 letters in the alphabet. What trick did you use to memorize them? That's right, there wasn't one. You learnt them by repeating them, by looking at them and learning to associate a name with a symbol. There's no trick to learning it. You just got on with it and you did it. The reason you don't know these notes is because you're looking for a trick rather than learning them. That's how we learn things, by repeating them and exposing ourselves to them. So there's no trick for how you remember my name. There's no trick for how you remember this is my left hand. There's no trick to remember the name of the colour of your car. There's no trick to learn the name of the font that is used below this video to describe the video, the title. Now, of course, that's a much harder thing to memorize, fonts, but let's be realistic. A web designer will look at that font and instantly know what that font is, because that's the kind of thing that they are constantly exposing themselves to, and therefore you start to memorize these types of things. If you apply yourself to these things, I assure you that you will learn these things much quicker than you would have initially thought. As I say, we're only really talking about the E and A strings here, but of course this information will apply to all 6 strings of the guitar. Once you've learnt that low E string, guess what? You already know the high E string because it's the same note. It's tuned to the same note, so the notes will be the same on it. Learning the other 3 strings, again, it's just experience. You could go through that method of using things like octave patterns to do it, but then anytime you need to know a note on the B string, you're going to make this octave pattern to take it down to the D, and then an octave pattern to take it down to the E. That takes time. Why not just learn that the 10th fret on the B string is an A? Why not learn that the 1st fret on the B string is a C? You will do this just by applying yourself. Every time you pick up the guitar, look for a note. If you need to play the note B, find it. It's at the 7th fret on the low E string, or at the 2nd fret on the A string. Apply yourself, and I assure you, you will get there with this stuff. It's not hard, you just need to put in the work. And it's not a whole lot of work. It's like riding a bicycle. Once you've learned how to do it, you will never forget. So, simple little lesson. And hopefully it inspires you to improve yourself a little bit more today in your guitar practice. If you have any comments about this, any thoughts, feedback, please drop them in the comment section below. Lastly, I should extend a huge debt of gratitude to these awesome people over here. These are my patrons over on patreon.com, or at least these are some of my patrons, and they support me at various tiers and they get various things in return for that. But for $10 or more, you get your name up here. You people are awesome. You help me to keep making this channel go, and that is an awesome, cool, excellent thing. You're good people. I am a big fan of you people. If you are interested in joining us on Patreon, you can do so for as little as $1, and you can check us out by clicking this button up here. Lots of cool stuff on there, access to my private patron-only Facebook group, cool discussions going on in there, transcription lessons, challenges, and the like, and of course, lots of interaction. If not, that's fine. You can subscribe by clicking this button down here and check out 2 more of my videos here and here. Thanks so much for all the support, guys. Now, go and learn those notes. Good luck. You don't need it.